Hi, everybody. How are you tonight? My name is Kevin Phillips. I'm the Vice President for Enrollment Management here at Lees-McRae College. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to have an opportunity in a moment for you to hear from some of our current students. And just before we begin, we do have a number of different people on this particular virtual event. If you are already deposited and have chosen Lees-McRae, this is also a great opportunity for you to ask some questions. We're going to start off with some questions that people have already given to us. And then after about 20 minutes, we'll open that up for any of you to ask some questions in the chat option. It's the best way to do it. If you are accepted and still trying to make your final decision, this is a really great opportunity. You may have heard from us, you may have visited campus, you may have gotten some emails, but you may not necessarily have been able to hear from some of our current students who not too long ago were in the same situation as you are in, trying to figure out where they wanted to attend school. So this is a great opportunity. And if you're a junior or a sophomore in high school and you're joining us, I mean, this is just a great opportunity for you to hear about some of the things that people ask colleges about and ask students about. So we're looking forward to having some good discussions here with you tonight. If you are still deciding, May 1st is the enrollment deadline, so you have a little bit of time, and I know many of you know that it is a $250 non-refundable enrollment commitment fee, so as soon as you know that Lees-McRae is a great place for you, you want to make sure you take care of that. If you're a deposited student, you definitely want to register for one of our orientation programs in the summer. And many of you have been working with Libby Gragg, who's our Director of New Student Engagement at Lees-McRae. She's going to help you get through that process. And if you're a junior, personalize things for you here at Lees-McRae. We've got some great opportunities, but tonight's about hearing from students. So I'm going to turn this over to get this started to our Director of Admission, Amanda Merritt, and she's going to get going with our student panel. I hope you enjoy this, everyone.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us tonight. We're so excited to have you all here. As Kevin said, my name is Amanda. I'm the Director of Admission here at Lees-McRae, and we have 4 awesome students here to talk to you guys tonight. So before we get into the questions, I really want to make sure that they introduce themselves so you know exactly who you're talking to. So we'll start with Cameron.
I'll go. There's 2 Camerons. I'm Cameron. I'm currently a sophomore at Lees-McRae. I'm involved in a lot of extracurricular activities like Order of the Tower. I'm a resident assistant, cheer, and many other things, basically. And I'm glad you're here to just learn more about Lees-McRae and the current students.
The other Cameron, Cammy.
Hi, I'm Cammy. I'm a freshman here. I am on the women's soccer team and a part of Order the Tower as well as stat. And I'm glad you guys are here as well, and can't wait to hear your guys' questions and answer them as easy as I can.
Camden.
Hi, I'm Camden Donovan. I'm the captain of the men's track team. I'm part of the SAC organization. I'm part of Order the Tower. Hopefully an RA next year, waiting on that email. But yeah, we can't wait to answer your guys' questions.
And Miss Reagan.
I'm Reagan, so you won't get my name as confused with theirs because I'm, an R instead of a C. I'm a freshman. I'm on the softball team. I'm involved in Order of the Tower. Hopefully to be an RA next year. I'm also an orientation leader. So this summer, if you guys are already coming to Lees-McRae, I'll see you there.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So we're going to start out just with a handful of questions that we hear quite often on campus visits and from prospective students, and then we'll open it up to you guys in the chat for questions. So Cameron Williams, can you talk to us a little bit about, what it's like living in a residence hall, in a dorm style residence hall, the kind of housing options we have on campus, and kind of what it's like for you?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different options for residence halls. So if residence style dorm, you don't, you still have the other options. But I live in Avery, which is basically a all class female residence hall, and I loved it. My first year, I was lucky enough to have a good roommate, and we got along great. And honestly, for me, if you are social and you can just meet a few people in your hallway, then it'll be a fun time to get along with. And I know, like, when I first decided to come, and I was like, communal bathrooms, maybe not, but it's not that bad. It stays clean for the most part, and I don't really get weighted, like nobody's in there when I'm in there, so it's not as bad as you might think. But I loved it, and being a resident assistant, it definitely changed my perspective on how students live. But if you compromise a lot with your roommate and you have those good living styles, and of course everybody's not going to clash properly, but you go in with an open mind, and I think that gives a great experience for res life and dorm living. And I think personalizing your room, I think, makes it so much better to have that comfort level in your room and while you're away from home. Is the consensus that I got.
Thanks, Cameron. Reagan, as a freshman, do you want to talk a little bit about what your experience was, moving into a residence hall with maybe people you don't know and how you adjusted to that?
Yeah, so being on a sports team kind of helped a little bit. I kind of had a couple of girls that I already knew coming in. However, I didn't live on the same hall as any of them, so moving in was it was different for me. I've never really been away from home that much, and I'm also an only child, so that was kind of everything was new for me, sharing a room, sharing bathrooms and everything like that. Cammie actually lives right next door to me, so we kind of met the first day when we were moving in. So like Cameron said, just kind of talking to everyone and getting to know them is a great way to just meet people, maybe make new friends, just kind of get out of your comfort zone and just kind of enjoy your freshman year.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies. Camden, I'm going to try not to get y'all's names mixed up as much as I can. I want to call all of you Cam. Camden, tell us a little bit about what it's like to have a meal plan on campus and what the food's like here.
So having a meal plan on campus, you get unlimited meal swipes depending on what you sign up for. So I am on the unlimited swipes, so I get $250 on my card, my ID as well. So I can spend that at Einstein's, the Pod, which is Provisions on Demand, which is you can grab snacks and stuff in between classes and whatnot. You're allowed to go into the cafeteria and have, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner anytime you want, however many times you want. And the older you get, you can reduce your meal plan so that you can get, because you might live in an apartment or a house, or you can make your own food because they have ovens and a full set kitchen. So the older you get, you can reduce your meal plan, save some money, but also have limited amount of swipes. So you'll have I think it's 170 swipes you might have, or something lower than that, I think. But yeah, so definitely go with the full meal plan at the beginning of your freshman year. So you could live in Avery or Virginia. So you can go to the caf every day, and yeah. So the food's pretty good too. And they are having a $4 million reconstruction of the caf. So the caf is going to be a lot better this year. I can't wait for that. It's going to be pretty exciting.
What's your favorite thing to eat on campus, Camden?
Probably the pasta, because they serve that every day. Yeah, the pasta is the way to go. But definitely if they have mac and cheese is good. And sometimes fried chicken, but I don't know. Definitely the pasta.
Awesome. So, Cammie Phelan, can you tell us a little bit about, since you're a freshman, kind of what your typical day looks like and how you adjusted to the college class scheduling?
Yeah, so when we came in here, we were able to register for our classes with our advisors, and they were very helpful with scheduling the times that we needed and making sure we had the classes, as well as like making sure like I'm also a student athlete, so like making sure I had enough time to get to from like class to practice and everything. So my schedule, like this spring semester, I have classes from like 9 until I would say 2:50, and then I have practice at 3. And then after that, I just go to dinner and I get some homework done and go to sleep. So that's my typical day. It was definitely a little different from high school because usually you'll have like between 6 to 8 classes, depending on the schedule that you are. And so definitely like trying to adjust to that was different, but college life is definitely a lot more like, oh, you have more free time. So if you have like a slot for lunch or something, or you just have a slot to like breathe and like get some homework done between classes and that stuff. That's the thing I loved about switching from high school to college.
And you don't have the same classes every day, right? You have a couple of classes certain days?
Yes. So for me, I have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday classes that are the same, and then Tuesday and Thursday classes. So it's like every other day, which is pretty nice.
Awesome. All right, let's see. Talk to us about what you guys do in your free time. What do you do for fun around campus? Reagan, you wanna answer that one?
Sure. So if I have free time, like in between classes, most of the time I take a nap. That is one of my favorite things to do. But because Lees-McRae is such like an outdoorsy school, like if I have an afternoon off that I don't have practice or like it's the weekend and stuff, sometimes I put up like my so I'll just like sit outside in like hammock. Sometimes I'll go out like and sit on a blanket and picnic with friends. COVID this year kind of made it hard to like kind of meet inside, so we kind of found ways to meet outside. So like there was like tables outside of the caf that we sat at sometimes to eat lunch instead, just to get some fresh air. Sometimes like in my free time I'd also go down to Boone and either just get some like Chick-fil-A or Bojangles, or like go shopping at TJ Maxx. So, just kind of however much time I had in the day.
And Cameron Williams, the RAs and the different student clubs put on different things, right? What are some of the things you guys have done this year?
Yeah, so we try to put on an event for our residents, maybe once or twice a month. Back campus had a really good turnout. They did a game night, and they had a campfire. They had Wii, Xbox, a lot of good games that you can just go and chill and socialize and play those games. And we also had movie night. I know Avery had movie night. And a scavenger hunt where you could win prizes to Chick-fil-A or things like that. And not even just residence life, student affairs, they put on so many events, trivia night, we have raffles that people go for and things like that. And they put on a lot of different things to keep the students engaged, which is really nice. And so you can also go to that too. And you don't really have to go off campus if you don't want to.
Cam Donovan, looking through the names on here, I think we have a handful of students logging in who are some distance away from campus, who might be in your same situation. So do you want to talk about how you made that adjustment long distance?
Yeah, so I'm from Andover, New Hampshire, which is about a 16-hour drive away. So to not be close to your family and to not be close to anyone. I mean, I came to North Carolina knowing absolutely nobody. So having that distance can be hard at first, but you really have to open up. You're going to have teammates. You're going to have people in your hall of your resident building that are in the same situation or just trying to find people to talk to. So it's not hard to talk to people. I mean, if you have challenges doing that, that's okay, but you have to open up. I opened up. Took me a little bit, but I got some lifetime friends that I'm going to be friends with for the rest of my life. And I thankfully had a great roommate my first year. And so it was definitely, you got to open up. That's all I can really say. You have to open up and just talk to people. So, yeah.
Thanks, Cam. And one more question we get quite a bit, guys. All of you are about to laugh. What's it like in the winter up here in Banner Elk? Anybody want to share? I'll open it up to all of you guys.
Well, I'm from New Hampshire, so it's kind of like the same, except the spring comes faster and the fall ends a little bit later. So if you're coming from Florida or maybe even Texas, something like that, you're going to experience the cold. It does get cold here. So it can get really cold, but the next day can be like 70 degrees. So you really got to adjust to Banner Elk weather. It's different from Boone, even though it's 30 minutes away. We have our own weather system here. So try to, bring warm clothes and, hopefully next year COVID isn't much of a thing, so we can have indoor events so we can stay inside. And, kind of like I said, opening up, become friends with your resident neighbors and, make game events inside your dorm and stuff like that. But, you can always go sledding. There's 2 ski mountains here, Beach and Sugar. Go skiing, go snowboarding. There's tubing, there's ice skating, and there's plenty of stuff. There's plenty of stuff to do around here in the winter.
Cammie, how did you adjust to winter up here?
So I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is like 2 hours away from here. So it wasn't that hard because we had a bit more snow than someone from like Florida, from Texas. And I love this cold, so like I even told my roommate, I was like, I have to be by the window because I want to like feel that cold. I don't want to be hot at all. So I actually loved it. I love snow, and a couple of our friends, like we went sledding, and so it was a lot more than I expected it, and definitely saw. But you definitely like get used to it as the week and like the months go on as you're here. So
I want to add, I'm from the same area that Cammie's from, and although like I know what winter's like, I truly underestimated Banner Elk winters. Right? Like I was like, okay, I'll bring a coat, but it's like freezing, or at least I get cold easily. And so like, yeah, a jacket and no raincoat's gonna do good, but you need like a coat for the winter. And like rain boots aren't gonna do anything in the snow. You need snow boots. Like there's a big difference, and I had to learn that the hard way. So like, I really just underestimated the weather. But the snow is beautiful up here. You just have to bundle up. Layers are a good thing. Don't just like have big stuff. You have to have layers, which really helps a lot.
Moral of the story, y'all, you'll be okay with a good ski jacket and a good pair of snow boots. You'll get used to it. It'll be all right. Okay, so that's most of the questions that we hear on a regular basis, but we want to make sure we're answering your questions and you get everything out of this that you hope to tonight. So feel free to go ahead and start sending us questions in the chat, and I will relay them as best I can. Natalia wants to know about the Wi-Fi on campus.
Okay, so when we all first moved in the Avery Residence Hall, back in August, I think the Wi-Fi kind of got like overcrowded from having so many people on it, since like nobody had been on campus since like March. So everybody kind of blew up our IT guys, like their emails, and within like 2 hours, the Wi-Fi was fixed. So it's really good. And if you do have a problem with it, our IT guys are like great with helping to like fix any problems that you have, whether that's Wi-Fi or like something with your computer too.
Somebody else would like to know what is the Order of the Tower?
Okay, so Order of the Tower is a student organization that we have, and we like take tours, so you guys might have gotten a tour from us. We also help participate in like the Bobcat Day or open house or like the big events that we host on campus. Just wanting like prospective students to know how we feel as students at C and how they would feel if they came here as a future student.
Dylan would like to know do you have a lot of free time playing sports and doing things on campus? So what's life like as a student athlete, and how much extra time do you have?
Depending what sport you guys play, but definitely like for track, for example, we practice 5 days a week and occasionally on a Saturday morning. In the fall, we're not in season. The first semester, we don't have any meets. So it's a lot of work to balance the constant practice and constant, practice and then class, and your body's going to be really tired. But it's what you love to do, so you should enjoy doing it while you also do classes. And it's not like you'll be crippled with work as a freshman, and you'll learn to balance your work as you get older. And then playing a sport, it's just a lot of fun. So when the season comes, you end up having meets or games, and you work with your professors because you get close with them, you can talk to them, and it's not a problem at all. I have to tell my professors that I'm not going to be here Thursday or Friday because I have a conference coming up. So they just tell me no problem, just send me an email as a reminder, and good luck. That's what they said. So it's pretty simple.
I would kind of like to add, cheer is it's more laid back. We have practice 3 days a week and occasionally on Saturdays. And this year we didn't cheer for any sports, but we did have a showcase that we practiced for. But we had weightlifting, and you had to sign up based on your schedule. So that it does really good with, even though you have to do this, it's based on your schedule for at least weights and what you have to do. And if my time management sucks, but if you're really good at time management and organizing everything out, you would have no stress and be fine. So I'm just stressful because I have less time management skills.
Izzy wants to know if a lot of our students will take weekend trips or go to, Asheville or go camping or things of that nature.
Okay. I actually don't know if a lot of students like take trips to Asheville, but like that's totally like up to you more so. Like when you're in college, you kind of have the freedom to kind of do what you want to do. You're not stuck at home and you still like want to make sure, I guess, your parents know that you're going, if that's how your household works, but like you have more freedom to kind of do what you want to do. So I'm welcome to go to Asheville. I know some people do go to Charlotte sometimes for the weekend. And also our school has a really great outdoor management program, and so you can rent camping equipment and stuff for free for the whole weekend if you want to, so you don't have to buy it or bring it because it does take up a lot of space. So it's really great option if you do enjoy camping and want to go camping.
Me and my friend maybe a couple weeks ago went car camping, which is really cool. But also Boone's not that far. It's a really good day trip and you can spend hours up in Boone. But also Tennessee, it's about 45 minutes to an hour away. And that's a really good day trip where you can go to the mall. A lot of chain stores that they don't have in Banner Elk or Boone. And you can just take a nice long day trip to Johnson City or somewhere else, so you're not limited to this area. And I find it fun if you leave on Friday or even Saturday morning and just spend all day out with your friends. It's a good way to just relieve stress and have a good day trip. So yeah, I do it often, but that's me.
Does someone want to talk about having a job while in college, how you manage your time with that, and what are some jobs that are available in the area?
I did work at Food Lion down the road, But and currently right now I do not have a job, but I'm going to be working for the school over the summer doing landscaping. So, but I've had a job and had school and track at the same all at the same time. You manage it just by just doing your work. You know, don't put it off. Don't procrastinate. Try not to procrastinate if you can. Um, but yeah, so definitely just do your work, go to work, and do the best you can. You know, I just worked weekends, and so whenever I could get off work and for track meets, I would just tell them I had to go to track meet. They said okay. I would just do it, get done with, go back the next week and work again. But yeah, it's pretty easy to manage it. You know, if you're not playing a sport, you can probably work after classes. You know, and then come back at night and just do your homework or do your homework before and then go work at night. You know, whichever you want to do.
Thanks, Cam.
Also, oh, I'm sorry, I talk a lot. Also, the on-campus jobs, we do have like work studies, and we might have some like at the bookstore. I know they're hiring for the fall, and that's a place where you could sit and do work, but also do your schoolwork because you just sit there and wait for someone to come to you, and like you can work in that. Those are like good places where you could just go to work, be there, get your hours, but still have time to do your schoolwork in that job. And I think that's really important for the people that do have like less time because they have other sports or things like that.
Can somebody talk about how the all of the housing options that we have on campus and kind of how housing selection works?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so we have the dorms, right, which is just traditional residence hall style dorms with the roommate. But we also had the villas or the villages, which is kind of like suite style. So you have 4 individual like rooms and then 2 bathrooms where you share with one other person. So like your hall mate would be you would share a bathroom with. And that's same sex. And then you have our apartments, which is a little different than what you might expect. Our apartments are 1 bedroom, so you still have a roommate, but you have a living room and a full kitchen. So you can cook your own food if you don't want to go to the caf. And then we have our houses, which you can, or if you don't want to, you can have a roommate, or you don't have to have a roommate in the houses, and that holds 4, 6 to 8 people. And it's just, and that it can be co-ed. So it just depends on your preference and what you like and how far you want to walk to your classes. I feel like that's a big part in it. So yeah, that's basically the housing options that we have.
So while we're on housing, I'm going to ask Lori's question, and then Rachel and Elijah, I promise I'll jump back to yours. Cami and Reagan, what is something that you didn't bring to move in that you really wish you had? And opposite, did you overpack and bring something that you didn't need?
Okay, let me tell you. Okay, so trying to unload everything from the car and bring it like up like to the doors and up the stairs, it is a pain. So even if you live on like the 3rd floor or the 4th floor, I would recommend bringing a wagon to like wheel your stuff to the stairs at least, because you get tired faster than you think, especially being at a higher altitude for the first time. I was like sweating by the time I had moved everything into my room. But on the like flip side of that, I also packed way too much. So that's probably why I was sweating so much. So like I promise you, no matter how many clothes you really only need like half of what you're gonna pack. I only wore like, I think I wore like the same like 10 clothes like every like 2 weeks. I was just on like a 2-week cycle. So you really don't need as many clothes as you think you do. Like I kind of packed like shampoo, conditioner, like deodorant, like that kind of stuff to last me for like the first like 2 or 3 months, just so I didn't have to worry about buying that kind of stuff. So that was really convenient. So I just kind of packed it on a big storage bin. So I would think like the little stuff that you really like, that kind of stuff that you don't think about packing, that's what I would kind of make sure you pack.
To add on with Reagan, definitely it's like a big just mind change, like when you see how much you did pack and how much you didn't. One thing I definitely brought too much of was shoes, because similar to Reagan, like I used maybe 3 pairs of shoes. So like I have casual or formal shoes, so if I have to go to some event that I need. I have my tennis shoes if I have to run, and I have like just Birks just to hang out in my room and everything. And those are about the 3 shoes I have out of the 10 that I brought, which was probably not useful at all. So that's definitely one thing that I brought too much of. I think what I wish I would have brought at first was I forgot what it's called, but like it's kind of like a car scraper or snow scraper, sorry. That's what you need to bring, definitely. We already talked about how like it gets cold, and sometimes the ice will go over your car, and you have to take some time to scrape that snow off. So I would definitely advise you guys to bring that.
Cam, do you have anything you want to add to that from the guys' perspective?
I don't know. I pretty much brought everything with me, like my entire life, packed into my car and drove down from New Hampshire, as I plan on staying here as long as I can. So, if you come in far distance like me and you're gonna go home this summer or something like that, there's storage units around here you can store stuff in. So you know, if you want to pay for a storage unit, but you can, you know, pack up everything you want and have. Gotta limit how many clothes you bring though, because you know you're gonna share a dresser and a closet. So, and you don't think you can keep all the clothes you have, but limit what you have. My roommate and also if you don't have like a microwave or something like that, you can always buy one in Walmart and Boone. So like my roommate and I last year, we wanted an air fryer, so we went and bought an air fryer at Walmart and made chicken nuggets in our dorm. So you can, if you don't have something, you can always go out and buy it.
I'm gonna add because everybody else was talking. First of all, Cam, an air fryer is like the best investment you probably would ever get. It's amazing. You can do a lot with the air fryer. But if you're like me, I'm very picky, right? One thing that I didn't bring that I would like to bring is an iron. I know this might be weird, but like I don't like to go outside with wrinkled clothes. I don't know if you're the same, but I mean, an iron was really helpful. And a broom, we have hardwood floors. But like if you want to decorate your room and you bring like a rug, I would recommend bringing like a mini vacuum cleaner. It doesn't have to be like the big sharp ones, but just a mini one, because I was like lint rolling my carpet because it got so dirty. And a vacuum would really help tons. Just a small one. You don't need to bring a big one. But if I had to like pick out one thing that I really wish I would have brought that I didn't, a mini vacuum would be the one that like I needed.
Thanks, Cameron. Real quick, what are some of the most popular clubs on campus? And how many campus clubs do we have? Or anybody that wants to talk about campus clubs?
I don't know exactly how many, but I think we have at least like 20 or about 20 clubs on campus. Some of the big ones are like student government, Order the Tower, which is what we're in. I think we have like really just like a unique club that we have is a herpetology club. So if you like reptiles and stuff, you can join that. I'm not in that club. I'll stay away from those, but I'm trying to think. We do have some fraternities and sororities on campus too. They're more academic, so you can join those as well. I'm kind of blanking on the other one, so if anybody else wants to help out, that'd be great.
I'm also a part of a club named STAT, which is Students Today, Alumni Tomorrow. That's a really good club just because we're able to connect with the alumni and like kind of share like our thoughts about like how LMC has improved and just get different like advice. So like, hey, like what do I need to do to get to this place after I graduate? And sometimes you're matched with an advisor and they'll help you with that process once you become like an upperclassman, which I think is pretty cool. So that's another club that you can possibly think about joining.
We have tons of clubs on campus. We have an equestrian club if you like horses. We have Nerd Club if you're interested in that. Creative writing, we have a whole bunch of unique clubs that students made and created and got into themselves. And so it's a lot of unique and specific things that we have. We have Woke, Wearing Our Culture Eminently, which is a really good one. And they put on a lot of good events for our campus this semester. And so you just have to look into it, do your research. And if you just like a club just to see, and you don't want to do it, that's fine. And we do have esports, which is cool, and it's very unique, and we have like an esports gaming room in our Bowman Science Building. So there's just a lot of unique and specific clubs that you could join on campus.
Awesome, thanks guys. So Diego, I'll answer your question really quickly. In terms of anyone looking at Lees-McRae who hasn't taken the steps to apply, or maybe you're not a senior quite yet, in terms of academic eligibility, we like to see a GPA above a 2.5. We do review the student holistically, so we'll ask that you submit an essay and a letter of recommendation along with your transcript. So obviously the higher your GPA, the more academic scholarship you're going to be eligible for. But you know, if you're not confident in your GPA, you can really make up for that or explain if there's extenuating circumstances in your essay, and then have a really strong letter of recommendation. And your admissions counselor will be reaching out to you individually throughout your application process. So feel free to ask them any questions about how to best, you know, submit the best document that is going to help with your application. Words are escaping me. But definitely, you know, if you have questions, work with your college advisor and your admissions counselor, and we'll definitely help you through the process as well. Guys, one last question for the last few minutes that we have on this call. Why did you guys choose Lees-McRae, and what keeps you here? Reagan, you want to start?
Sure. So I chose Lees-McRae because I was recruited to play softball here. So I kind of came up for a tour. I was like a little hesitant because I had actually never heard of Lees-McRae until before I heard of like the coach reached out to me and stuff. So I came up here with kind of like no expectations. And when I kind of stepped foot on campus, I just kind of like fell in love with the school. When I was on tour, like I just liked the atmosphere like that was presented. Like everyone just kind of seemed to know each other and would say hi to one another when they were like walking past each other going to class. And that's like still true when I'm here. I walk past so many people. So being in a small school also was like a draw for me. Like I liked the smaller class sizes and being able to really like get to know my professors and not just being a number in a classroom. Like I'm actually who I am. And then just kind of like the student life, like it's really awesome to be here. Like we do, the most recent thing we've done is we had Mountain Day of Service. So we went out into the community and we volunteered with like Habitat for Humanity for like 3 or 4 hours. And then we came back and we had like a party on one of the lawns here at on campus. And so there was like a bouncy house and like there was a volleyball court set up, there was spike ball. And it was just really great to like mingle and like have fun with like all of my friends and stuff. So that's why I'm still here at Lees-McRae, because I had such a great time.
Cameron, you're next on my screen. Cameron Williams.
Okay, so I chose Lees-McRae. Like my college decision process, it was very limited because of my specific major. I'm a wildlife biology concentration and rehab major, and it's very popular. It's going to be very popular here at Lees-McRae. And so mine was very specific, so it limited a lot of my searching. But what drew me here in the first place was the rehab center. Seeing how our vet, Dr. Amber, handles these animals and takes care of them, and how students get to be so involved so quickly in their college career was very drawing to me. As a sophomore, I am working hands-on with these animals working at the center 3 times a week. And it's very rewarding. And this summer, I'm staying here and doing clinicals at the center. And that's kind of what keeps me here, the passion that I have for the animals. But like Reagan said, the small class sizes, my teachers know me by name. I'm not just a number and like with 100 people in an auditorium looking at a PowerPoint, right? Like they know me by name. I have one of my teachers' phone numbers and they can help whenever I need it and vice versa. And so the small class sizes and the very specific major and the experience that I get to do and the experience I get to experience and do here on campus with the Rehab Center is what keeps me here and what draw me here in the first place.
Camden?
Well, for me, I got a track scholarship, and so I saw it as an opportunity to get better at my sport, because I was like, really excited because I heard there was a really good coach here. And so I took the opportunity to travel a long distance away, and the small school environment helps me, get my degree, because where I want to be after college, it doesn't really, they're not gonna look at my degree and say it's worth less than someone who went to like App State or something like that. Like I still got my 4-year degree. I'm still good, get my degree a hell of a lot easier because I can know my professors. And I'm really close to my advisor, who's one of my professors, Dr. Logan, and she helps me, scheduling and with classes. We do a lot of work together, and she's going to help me get my internship with the Boone Police Department. And I'm only a sophomore, so I'm getting that done way faster than most students from other schools. So coming here was the best choice I could have done, and I never really thought about leaving. So yeah, I mean, I plan to stay all 4 years anyways, so yeah.
Tammy, what about you?
So mine's kind of similar with the athletic perspective with Reagan and Cam. I did come here due to like soccer and just the interest of playing in a collegiate level. So that's how I came here. But like once I got here, I know meeting the team and everything, they were so welcoming. Like they made me feel like family when I first stepped on, and they didn't even know who I was. And I absolutely loved that. And then another thing was just like the difference in the atmosphere and the environment. Back at home, it's more like a city. So I loved coming here, and you see mountains everywhere. You could take like a 15-minute drive and go up to Sugar and see the sunset. That's what a couple of my teammates do. So we go up there. You can do the sunrise or sunset depending on if you're a night owl or morning. And you can go there, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. And just like reiterating what they said, just like the small campus. I came from a high school that had like 600 people in each class. So that was a lot of people. And I just love seeing, there's 900 people, which yes, it seems small, but one thing I love that the vice president said was, how many of 900 people at your school right now can you name? And I was like, I can't name that many. You always see someone new. You always meet new people here, and that's what I love. And another thing, this is my last thing, I promise, but another thing, my first year seminar professor, Mr. Hopper, he was like, he just made my perspective on like school and college just so much different. He focused on like what makes you happy. And he's like, make sure you find something every day that will make you happy and put a smile on your face. And so just coming here and learning that from him, not just from school, but they actually care about your life and how you do in the future. And that's just one thing I loved about this school. So that's why I continue to come here, because from him, I can always find something that makes me happy or makes me smile within a day.
That's awesome. Thanks, Kimi. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps up our time tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate you spending time with us for our newest Bobcats. We hope you got some of your questions answered. For our prospective students who are just now checking out Lees-McRae, We're so glad you were able to join us. Your admissions counselor should be reaching out to you soon, but if any of you has questions or anything that you didn't feel comfortable asking tonight, or you feel you need more clarity on, please feel free to reach out to us. admissions@lmc.edu, and that will get your question where it needs to go, or please feel free to give us a phone call as well, and we'll be happy to help. But thank you guys again, and I hope you have a great night.